Hello and welcome to another episode of Dafuq Did I Just Watch? This week we'll be recapping and reviewing the very first horror sci-fi thriller of 2023. That's right, we're talking M3GAN. It's kinda like Chucky, but what if he was a sassy little biatch? Now, before we start this review, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that like and subscribe. It definitely helps the show stay alive, and we appreciate it here at Dafuq. Now, if you haven't seen M3GAN and would still like to, make sure you pause now and return later, as there may be several spoilers up ahead. That's right, this is your official spoiler alert. Now let's start things off with the synopsis to the film. A robotics engineer at a toy company develops a lifelike doll that begins to take on a life of its own. The film M3GAN mostly follows two characters, one being Violet McGraw, who plays Cady, our little girl whose parents are tragically killed in a car accident, and she has to go live with her aunt Gemma, played by Allison Williams. And so right at the beginning of the film, we have our classic awkward dynamic of the young adult who's trying to be a new parent and the young child who's not used to being parentless. Oddly enough, for a movie that was marketed sort of like as a horror, kind of like weird, funky, spooky, maybe even like funny, silly kind of movie, it's boring as hell for like the first 30 minutes. There's not a lot going on. It's mostly just showing the relationship between Aunt Gemma and Cady and how terrible Aunt Gemma is at being like a parent or just a relatable human being in general. It's actually a while before M3GAN shows up on screen, and when she does, it's all roses for a while. It's nothing but a big friendly montage between M3GAN and how awesome it is between her and Cady. Allison Williams as Aunt Gemma is a very interesting character because there were certain moments in the film where I questioned myself, like, who is the android in this movie? Is it M3GAN or is it Aunt Gemma? Because at certain points, Aunt Gemma does not seem lifelike or humanoid at all. First of all, her sister is killed in a tragic car accident, and she never once sheds a single tear or like has any kind of sadness for her dead sister once throughout the entire film. And they must have had some kind of a relationship because her sister puts in her will that, like, if anything happens to me, I want you to take care of my daughter, not my husband's like parents, like not her grandparents. I want you, Aunt Gemma, you weird android. And then there's a part later where like Cady's having trouble in the forest and she screams bloody murder like, Aunt Gemma! Like she's being stabbed to death. And Allison Williams is just like, huh? And it's not until that she notices that like the M3GAN doll is gone that she's like, oh man, what? The sounds of her niece screaming bloody murder has the reaction of just like, huh? What was that? But when she notices that doll's missing, it's like, I'm not sure who's playing the better android. Is it the little robot girl M3GAN, or is it the soulless, like, lifeless Aunt Gemma who has, like, no emotional cues throughout the entire film? And let's talk about our little android M3GAN, who's actually played by two separate actresses, one being Jenna Davis, who plays the physical body form, and Amy Donald, who plays the voice. As far as looks and acting and like movement, it looked great as an android. I think what they did was they just basically put like a rubber face on top of the actress. Same with like the hands too, just put like rubber gloves to just give her like the rubber outward appearance of a doll. But all of her movements and like, you know, mannerisms are very, you know, android and robotic. There's a couple of cool parts where like she's laying down and then she does like a stands up kind of thing. That part's cool. Other parts that are not as cool, when she's like going like full jaguar mode or whatever that is, like she's like running like a crazy like feral chimpanzee or something. Like I get what they're going for, like, ooh, look how creepy it is, she's on all fours, but it's like when you see it, it just doesn't play, it just doesn't look good, it looks weird as hell, and it's like I'm pretty sure she'd be moving a whole lot faster if she was just sprinting straight on. Like, just give her the T-1000 thing, you know, like from Terminator 2. Just give her the fucking the android, just like no emotion, just straightforward running action. That would have been awesome. Unfortunately, one of the biggest flaws with M3GAN is that it's just not that scary. M3GAN doesn't really show up until almost the halfway point of the film, and when she does, she's not really being too menacing or creepy, or like, if anything, she's being like really great. She's being everything that Aunt Gemma is not. She's like being comforting and like being the only thing that is helping poor Cady like get over the loss of her parents, because you know that Aunt Gemma ain't doing that. And you would think that a film like M3GAN that deals with topics like artificial intelligence and horror would really dive into like her, like, I don't know, hacking into stuff and like corrupting the system. And like, I mean, Aunt Gemma's entire house is like all Alexa up, like every single light and like every single electrical appliance is like hardwired to where she has to go like, Alexa, will you turn on the hallway light first? So you would think that there'd be plenty of spooky hacking and, like, you know, her corrupting all kinds of systems. I thought maybe she would take over the car or something, but she doesn't. She doesn't do any of that. She does like a few, when she gets mad, the lights flicker and it's like, ooh. I feel like overall, M3GAN just isn't that menacing or like scary. Like, I feel like at the end of the film, she has a body count of like 3. And then the way that she kills is like not even cool or creative. It's like, one old lady gets like murdered by a power washer, and it's like, okay. Overall, M3GAN is an interesting concept. Unfortunately, none of the things that make it interesting are used in the film. Not much of the AI aspect are used, not even much of the horror aspect are used in this film. As a whole, not a ton of good things to say about this movie. I mean, visually, M3GAN did look pretty good. The way they gave her like her rubber aesthetic, I mean, it looked cool. Her movement was robotic and fluid. Other than that, not a lot of great things to say about it. We're gonna have to hit M3GAN with a D-. That's right, coming in below average, not even Geek Squad is gonna be able to save this one. If you felt differently about M3GAN, feel free to comment down below, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely helps the show stay alive, and we appreciate it here at Dafuq. I am your host as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time at the movies.